The following presentation is a First Baptist Church of Glenarden International production.
Good evening, singles, and welcome to First Saturdays at First Baptist. Well, if you've been joining us, you know we've had a fun-filled summer. We took a break in August, and now we're back, and we're so happy that you all have tuned in. If this is your first time joining us, be sure to put a 1 in the chat so that our singles community can welcome you. Tonight, we're excited because we are going to be talking about the importance of bringing healthy back. I don't know about you, but there's been a lot of talk, I know, on social media. You can't turn on social media or go to social media, get on your Instagram page without hearing the big back. And it's been fun and it's been cute. But you know, in all seriousness, when we think about the statistics when it comes to the chronic diseases, especially in our community, we all need to take a step back. And so that's what we're going to be doing tonight. We're going to take a step back and we are going to have a conversation about bringing healthy back. And so we're so glad, like I said, that you joined us. Many of the chronic diseases that we face in our community, believe it or not, a lot of them are lifestyle related. And when I say chronic diseases, I'm talking about things like hypertension, I'm talking about strokes, I'm talking about heart attacks. All of these things typically are lifestyle related. 3 John 2 states, "Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health, just as your soul prospers." Now, this passage was a prayer or a blessing that John was bestowing on a church leader named Gaius. But this same blessing can apply to us also. And it's this verse that really emphasizes the importance that we need to be able to balance our spiritual health as well as our physical health. So tonight we are joined by a few dynamic singles to really talk about the importance of healthy eating, both physically and spiritually. So we are welcoming to the stage, we have Tiffany, LaVance, and Jessica. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kick us right off, okay? And you all can be sure to put it in the chat as well because we'd like to hear from you. So my first question, how would you describe your relationship with food on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you describe your relationship with food, with 10 being super healthy, raw vegan, and why? Let's start off with Tiffany.
Okay. I'm gonna put it at like a 7. Definitely not going over to the vegan. Sorry, guys. Why? Because I think my diets fluctuate. It depends on the day. I want to say I'm a flexitarian, so it depends on what I want to eat that day. Could I be vegan that day? Maybe, but I think for the most part, I just kind of stick to whole foods, or maybe I do vegetarian, but I would definitely give it a 7.
A 7.
Yeah.
Okay. LaVance, what about you?
Well, I'm terrible. I'm gonna say 6.5. I still do a little fast food every once in a while, do a little vegan, but my mindset now is getting healthier, and getting off these medication. So I'm leaning towards going vegetarian or vegan, but I'm just slowly walking that path.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, would you say your health has improved? Has your diet improved?
Yes, it has.
Okay.
Yes, it has. Improved a lot. I have started juicing watermelon.
Okay.
And seeded watermelon, not the man-made seedless. So that has changed me a lot. I was 283 back in May, and I think I'm down 40 pounds.
Wow.
Part of this juicing, but also is just actually counting my calories, eating properly. I do eat fast food every once in a while, but it's very rare. Something like a busy day, that's something real quick to get. Grab a small burger somewhere, no sodas, maybe once every month, but it's really, I changed a lot from where I was at one point.
That's awesome. All right. And what about you, Jessica?
I'm putting myself at a 6.
Okay.
It could stand to be a lot better. the reality is when I cook clean. You know, I do a lot of whole foods, that sort of thing. And I tend to dabble in and out of vegetarianism, depending on how the mood hits me. But I'm also a person of convenience. And so if I'm really, really busy, my diet tends to take a hit for it. I'm a snacker, or I'll just grab something on the go just to kind of keep moving. So it can definitely stand to have some room for improvement.
Okay. And so speaking of room for improvement, that's going to be the second question. And I'll start with you, LaVance. What areas do you think you can still improve in, and why do you think it's so hard for us to change?
Some areas is just eating clean, you know, cooking more, you know, having the time to actually cook. And when you cook and you shop whole foods, or the food is more cleaner from actual farms instead of man-made food and stuff like that. But also that's having the time to prepare your own meals instead of always going out to eat. I'm not saying don't go out to eat. You can do it on weekends and stuff like that. Eating fresh juices, like get a juice machine, make your own juice with seed, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's difficult for us, especially in Prince George's County, because all you have is fast food restaurants in every corner. Between the Chinese restaurants on every corner, between McDonald's every 2 miles, you got Burger King every 5 miles. It's not enough healthy options in Prince George's County at this time frame compared to Anne Arundel County, Baltimore County. More different options to go eat as far as healthier eating. Even with our grocery stores, you know, you gotta drive almost 15 miles to go to a Whole Foods, between where you live at. You know, you have there's not enough healthy options in our community.
I'm glad you said that. We might have something for you a little later on. What about you, Tiffany? So what areas do you believe that you can improve in, and why do you feel that it's so hard for us to change?
I think it's just being more disciplined in it. I think if I were to be more disciplined, then I can improve, because that is like a routine, it's regimen. But again, as they shared, and I'm in that same boat, when life happens, you kind of get thrown off your routine. You think about convenience, and not only there being so many options, like places to go and get healthy foods, but the price of it is just astronomical in comparison to, well, I could just, you know, make one of these quick cheapy meals. I'm not a noodle fan, so that'll never happen. But people result to that, well, let me get a cup of noodles because it's probably $2, rather than getting you some whole fruits and things like that and cooking at home.
Good point. And what would you say, Jessica?
I think the same when it comes to just making the time and making it a priority to cook more often. Like, one of the challenges I have is that I do have health issues, but fatigue is like the biggest problem that I have. So when I'm tired, I want something quick, ideally comforting in some regard, and get to that and be done for the day. Yeah. And that can be a bad combination when you're thinking about trying to eat healthier, cooking your actual food and taking the time to do that. So I think I could stand to improve in that area for sure.
Yeah, and you all brought up some great points, and some of the things that I'm hearing from you is discipline. That's the biggest key, because not only discipline, but preparation, right? Because life is going to life, you know, and especially as we get busy and when we're stressed and when things are going on, we're gonna grab the first thing we see, right? But if we were prepared and had, healthier options available to us, then we could grab that, you know what I mean? But it's easier said than done. Definitely
I would like to
easier
make
said.
one point. When she's talking about economical, you know, we have Wendy's get a $5 meal. That's economical. That's $5.25 with taxes, you know. Or you go get a 2 for $3 burger somewhere, you know, that's economical for some people who can't really afford to get the lamb chops or the turkey wings or that vegan or vegetarian option, because it may be $21 for it.
Or organic.
Organic food, yeah.
Organic,
So
yeah.
So that's a good point there. So that's economical too.
Yeah, it's economical. But you know, if we also look around to see what is available, if you go to stores like Lidl's and Aldi's, where they have the pre-packaged salad kits, you know, those salad kits have at least 2 to 4 servings in them, you know, and they're no more than $3, $3.50 or so,
Yeah.
right? And so you can get that same salad somewhere else and pay $15
or more,
right?
Yeah.
So it's also being aware of what's out there, and making the time to go, to these places. So I want you all to put in the chat and tell us, what are your biggest obstacles when it comes to healthy eating? Where could you stand to improve, and what do you think is holding us back? All right. What do you all think are, I'm going to start with you, Jessica. What do you all think are the misconceptions people have about healthy eating?
Well, I think we touched on one, which is that the belief is that it's expensive.
That's right.
So it's definitely one. I think too that maybe it could be like boring to eat, because I think when you think of eating healthy, it's like fruits and vegetables all the time, and you're just thinking of a whole bunch of sides all the time, and it doesn't feel as appealing as, say, like less healthier foods, perhaps. So
Yeah,
I think
that is
that's
true. That's true. What would you say, Tiffany?
The
Misconceptions.
That it's boring.
Yeah.
Again, I like to say I'm a flexitarian, depends on what I'm feeling. But a lot of times I will choose vegetarian meals over anything. And then they have like substitutes, again, price-wise. They have substitutes for meat that you can use. So I think people think it's just boring, but it's actually tasty. Same thing with vegan. I don't try to cook anything vegan at home, but I've been to several vegan restaurants and the food is actually good.
Yeah. Have you all ever been to IKEA,
Yes.
to their cafeteria?
Oh no.
You've never tried it?
Never did.
Yeah, see, that is, IKEA is Swedish based or whatever, so their meals are Swedish meals or what have you, but they're actually good, and they are, I don't know, Jessica, you
I mean, I've tried it before. I've tried it before.
they're good, and they're super affordable. You can get salmon, you can get, veggie balls, you can get mashed potatoes, things like that, and the prices are good. And I think for those who have kids eat free or something along those lines or what have you. So there are options out there. It's just a matter of learning about them.
Exposure.
You're right, being exposed. It was the longest time before I had gone to an Aldi's or whatever. But I mean, not all Aldi's are the same.
Right.
But there are some that you'd be surprised. So. One thing that I would encourage everybody is to keep your options open, keep an open mind, and just because something is priced high does not necessarily mean that it's the best quality or it's the best for you. I think that's a misconception as well, that you think that if something is not pricey, then it's not good.
Right.
So, but I want to hop back to one of the things that you mentioned, LaVance, in that we don't always have a lot of options accessible to us.
Correct.
Well, last week we had an opportunity to visit 2 local restaurants in the area that could be potentially healthy options. And so I want us to take a look at our first restaurant. Let's throw it to Katia.
What's up, singles? My name is Katia, and this month we are focusing on health and nutrition. So I have the pleasure of sitting at one of our local establishments here in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, and the equal pleasure of sitting with the chef and one of the owners here, Chef Kurt Evans. Chef, thank you so much for having me today and talking with me during your busy schedule. Please tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hey, my name is Chef Kurt Evans. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm a chef, activist, social entrepreneur in the city. A lot of my work revolves around food injustice and ending mass incarceration through food.
Very nice. Okay, well, please tell me, we frequent here a little bit for our job, but tell me what inspired the menu here at Spice Black?
The menu is a celebration of Black culture. When you think of Blackness in America, it's not one linear thing. So when you think about being, whether you're foundational Black American, African American, Caribbean, Hispanic. So a lot of that encompasses being Black. So at Spice Black, you know, the food is our culture, the food is our story. You know, that's how we represent the menu.
Very nice. Can you please tell me some of the flavor profiles, what people can expect? We've been talking about healthy eating, and so what are some of the healthier options that you offer here as a whole?
Gotcha. So flavor profiles, we can go Caribbean, we go West African, and you know, it's the thing with the jollof rice thing. So we don't get into Nigerian, we don't get into Senegalese. It's Spice Black jollof rice.
Very nice.
So we have the Latin cultures that are Black, and pretty much some of the things that are like really good healthy options on the menu. We have our collard green pesto bowl. One of our top sellers is a barbecue Southern soul, and that dish was inspired by just like a soul food dinner. So we have cheddar cheese sauce over white rice to mimic like mac and cheese.
Okay, you're making me hungry.
Yeah. Barbecue chicken, collard greens, and cornbread croutons. Some of the healthy items on the menu, we have okra. Okra's very good for you. Our collard greens are lightly charred, sauteed, you know, we keep the nutrients in it.
Yeah.
And collard greens are really good for you. It doesn't spike your glycemic index after eating. So collard greens are really good to eat.
Yeah, and it seems like a lot of the options that you mentioned are really good because as African Americans, we are predisposed to certain conditions. And so, you know, you don't have to necessarily be vegan, but you can enjoy really great and flavorful food, you know, that's not, you know, that's still healthy. So, I mean, thank you so much. Is there anything, give me your favorite bowl, your favorite bowl.
My favorite bowl is the pineapple coconut curry bowl.
Ooh, okay.
And I add collard greens and plantains to it.
Ooh.
Yeah, so pretty much when we do these bowls, we want to bake food. There's plenty fast, casual spots where you can go. Similar, walk down the line, pick your food, but we wanted the food and ingredients to be culturally relevant to the community that we serve.
Thank you.
So being in Upper Marlboro, French Doors, this region is one of the predominantly Black regions in America. Giving the people in this area a healthy food option was the goal.
Well, listen, we thank you for your service, and we just thank you for, you know, providing these healthier options. And like I said, they're good, y'all, okay? They are really good. So make sure y'all come down to Spice Black. But Chef Kirk, thank you so much for talking to me today, and we look forward to seeing you later.
Thank you, and I look forward to seeing y'all after Sunday.
Absolutely. After
Take
service.
care. Take care.
Hey, singles, if you're just joining us, we just got finished talking to Chef Kirk from Spice Black. But now I have the pleasure of sitting with two of the owners, operators here, Mr. Amir and Ms. Tashay Jones. Guys, thank you so much again for letting us come and kind of interrupt your morning to talk to us. So please tell me a little bit about yourselves, where you're from, and the concept of Spice Black.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Very nice.
I met my wife. She's originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, but she claims PG County, Maryland. So we met in grade school, actually. Yeah, yep. And then her family moved away and settled down here. And then we reconnected in college, started dating in college.
Beautiful.
And been together ever since.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm from PG. I grew up in Mitchellville, actually growing up as a member at First Baptist, and I went to Largo High School right around the corner.
Very nice.
So, but the concept of the restaurant is salad and grain bowls centered around Black heritage food. So flavors from the diaspora, Caribbean, Afro-Latina, American South, and also Western African flavors.
So thank you so much. Like, was the location intentional? Because we're here in Prince George's County, and from my personal experience, there's not a variety of healthy food options. So when you guys were scouting out the locations to build the restaurant, was that intentional, or tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it was. It took us over 2 years to find a location because we wanted to make sure it was in PG County. As my wife mentioned, she grew up like 5 minutes up the road in PG County, went right to Largo High School. And for us, it was more about access to wholesome, healthy foods. I always tell this story, like our son, he goes to school in Montgomery County, is a private school. So one day I picked him up from school and he told me he wanted some chicken nuggets and fries, right? And so I go to search like McDonald's. There's not a McDonald's like 15 miles near the school. So I searched Chick-fil-A. You know, there's a Chick-fil-A everywhere, right? Not a Chick-fil-A 20 miles down the school. So then you start thinking it's like, it's intentional, you know, it's designed that way. And so for us, like we wanted to do our part as entrepreneurs to start to put this in our own communities, right? Because I always say it takes a three-pronged attack. The entrepreneurs have to take the initiative to do it. The customers have to want it and support it. And then the leaders, right, the government leaders, they also have to back it and support it as well, so.
Very nice. Tell me a little bit about the concept of Spice, how you guys got started. Like, what year did you guys start? How long have you been here?
Yeah. So this has been working for several years. We call it our COVID baby, our other COVID baby. So probably around like 2021, 2020, we kind of started coming up with a concept, you know, cooking every day, got kind of tired of cooking, and then there's, you know, not a lot of healthy options in the area. So kind of around that time frame, we came up with the idea, started doing a lot of research, but we've been open for about 6 months now. And we've been around for about that time. So the concept came just out of necessity, really. Got, you know, tired of cooking and then wanted some more healthy alternatives to, you know, foods that we grew up on and we're used to having those kind of flavors.
And the great thing about a place like this is the fact that you don't have to be vegan or vegetarian.
Yep.
You know, you don't have to go to the extreme. You can still have healthier options that still involve a meat or you know, a potato. So
Yeah, I mean, I was working in the corporate world and, you know, doing long hours. You know, she used to always complain about my hours, and I was eating like crap, and my health started to take a turn. And so one night I was just like, you know, we need a salad place around here because we live a couple miles up the road. She was like, well, why don't we create one? And then I, you know, we started doing research, and we like, there's nothing like that for us, for our people. And so, you know, the vision was to create that fast, casual salad and grain bowl concept centered around Black heritage food for us. And I knew the right person to go to, Chef Kurt. He's a rock star in Philly, and he just knocked it out of the park. Told him the vision, and he's like a creative genius. He came up with the menu, all the items, all the juices, and just knocked it out the park.
So that's right. That's actually something I learned today. You guys make your own juices. So I know I had Chef Kurt talk about the menu, but can you guys tell me the inspiration behind some of the juices?
That was all Chef Kurt.
But, I mean, we wanted to make sure that, because you know, a lot of people, they drink high sugar drinks, and our communities face those health problems. So we wanted to make sure it was fresh juice and no sugar. So, you know, that's what we tasked him with, like come up with something that's still tasty, but that you can receive the health benefits, and he crushed it. So with our juices,
it's tasty, y'all. It's good.
our juices have no sugar in them. We do naturally sweeten with agave.
Okay.
But other than that, it's just
Fresh
the fruit.
ingredients,
Yeah, that was something new I found out today. I was like, y'all make your own juices. What are your favorite bowls here at Spice Black?
My favorite bowl is the barbecue chickpea ranch salad.
Okay.
Yeah, it just has like that perfect balance.
Tell me what's in it.
So it has barbecue chickpeas. It has kale as a base first, right? So the salad, kale as a base, then it has the barbecue chickpeas. It has caramelized corn and onion. It has sauteed cabbage, sauteed carrots, and then green onions.
Oh, y'all making me hungry.
And I would say for me, it's gonna be the barbecue Southern Soul Bowl. That one has a base of Carolina white rice, has roasted sweet potatoes, charred collard greens, and it has a cheese sauce on top of the rice. So it's like Thanksgiving in a bowl, and we pair it with the barbecue chicken. So it's really good. It's healthy, it's flavorful, and I love it.
My last question, the name Spice Black, where did that come from?
It's funny, like we were like brainstorming names and ideas, the three of us, for like, it seems like months, right? And we kept coming back to this name. And for us, it has so many different meanings, right? You think about the flavors, all of the flavors and spices that Chef Kurt uses is familiar in Black homes, right? And is made from Black people, right? And from Black places, right? And so the ingredients is Spice Black.
Very Black.
Yeah. And then Chef Kurt, and you know, everything that he's learned come from like his grandmother, and you know, a lot of prominent Black chefs, right? And so the hands that have helped Chef Kurt craft the menu was Spice Black, right?
Very nice.
And so for us, it has all of those meanings, and it just kind of hit home and stuck with us.
Well, listen, y'all making me hungry, so we're gonna get out of here. Thank you again so much for just taking the time to explain. Thank you for being here in our community and making these healthy options available for us. We look forward to seeing you guys soon, and y'all, I'm gonna go get a bowl. Okay? Thank you guys again, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know about you all, but to me, that definitely looked like a place that I want to try. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, and it's right here in Prince George's County. Okay, so LaVance, you stand corrected.
Change is coming.
And so for those of you who may even want to take your diet to an even greater level, I had the opportunity of visiting a vegan restaurant, again, right here in Prince George's County. So let's take a look. Well, good evening, family. This evening we have the opportunity to interview none other than Dr. Baruch, who is the founder and owner of Everlasting Life, also known as eLife, which has 3 restaurant locations across the DMV. Dr. Baruch, it's our pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
And so our discussion, we've been talking about the importance of eating well so that we can be healthy, so that we can prosper. And we wanted our viewing audience to know, particularly as it pertains to those who are local, that when it comes to eating healthy, they have options.
Sure.
And so can you tell us a little bit about eLife?
Well, Everlasting Life was founded back in 1995, and my vision back then was to provide a viable food source to a community disserved and underserved. And you mentioned about healthy food options. You know, my thinking on it is, if it's not healthy, it's not food. So why are we eating it in the first place? But that's a little hard for many of us because we think, well, it tastes good.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. If something tastes good but it's not good for you, why consume it? So that's why we thought, let's bring it closer to our community, because that was one of the hurdles that we had to get over. Well, it's not easily accessible for us to get to these plant-based or healthier food restaurants and establishments. So let's bring it closer. So we did that in 1995 and have been doing so, where we took healthy food and wrapped it inside of soul.
Okay.
So we wrapped the healthy food inside of soul so that it would attract you.
Healthy soul food.
There we go.
Now, you have 3 locations.
Yes.
Can you tell us what those 3 locations are?
So we're located in Northwest Washington, D.C. Actually, it's that place is not open at the moment, but we're open in Southeast Washington, D.C. and here.
Okay, wonderful. And you were very purposeful in picking these locations?
Absolutely.
Okay, because you said there really aren't very many options in our communities, is that right?
That's right.
And
That's right. And even as you see the options increase, the options, you have to be careful because all these new items, these new places that are coming out, they're not true to this. We're not new to this, we're true to this. So they have a different agenda than we do.
All right, so now you said everything is plant-based. So be that as it may, can we assume that it's all healthy?
Not all plant-based foods are healthy. But what we do inside of eLife is we give you a transition. So if you're transitioning out of your standard Black American diet, which is worse than the standard American diet, right? If you're transitioning out of that, we give you your fried food, we give you your chicken made from other sources. So we make it out of gluten or we'll make it out of tofu. We give you your macaroni and cheese and your collard greens. So you have a similar taste experience.
Okay.
The names are similar, but we take you all the way up to organic, where we have the organic produce that we offer on the bar. So the cold bar offers a variety of things that you can do, where you can create your own salad if you choose. And we also take you to the raw juices. So we produce fresh pressed juices every day.
Wonderful. So what are your most popular items?
Well, the most popular is the macaroni and cheese, collard greens, and chicken. That's what, because most of our customers are not plant-based, believe it or not. Many of them are just coming in, trying to see how they can do this. The doctor told them they were a cheeseburger away from a heart attack, or they know that they're overweight, or they know they have diabetes, or whatever it is that they might have, and they know it's time that they stop pleasing the tongue and sacrificing the body. And now they've got a place where they can do both. They can please the tongue and please the body at the same time. So they come through and they check us out. And they normally have a good experience. But the #1 selling meal for us is the macaroni and cheese, collard greens, and the fried chicken.
Okay, I'm gonna have to taste that before we leave here.
Please do.
So can you tell us, Do you eat plant-based?
For the last 45 years, I've been eating plant-based.
Wow. And can you tell us from your personal experience, what are some of those health benefits as a result of, eating a plant-based diet?
Well, at the beginning, it wasn't much of a benefit, and that I was young, very young, 11 years old when I made the change. And I was noticing that the people in my community were beginning to have health challenges, even back in the 70s, that people were, reflecting a new health paradigm, getting a little overweight. We had children that were suffering from different health challenges back then. But one of the most significant things that caused me to make the change was when my most beautiful, attractive, amazingly wonderful second grade teacher said to me, "You shouldn't eat pork." And that was all she needed to say. She didn't know how high she ranked. But Miss Williams told me I shouldn't eat pork, and I said, okay, that's it. And I haven't eaten pork since that day. It was a fight at the house, but we were able to win on our side, and I haven't eaten pork since 1978.
Wow.
So it's been a while, and it's just been a progression. So, and when I turned 11, then it was like, okay, I need to stop eating all of this, because all of it is the same. I don't need any of it in my body. It's causing these challenges. And so I didn't see the benefits until I went back for a school reunion after 20 years. And everybody was saying, wow, you look just like you looked when you were in whatever grade. And I said, yeah, I can't say the same thing for you, though, And of course, when I was in school, I was the rabbit food man and the carrot food man. And, oh, go outside, cut the grass, get him some dinner or some lunch. It was a joke.
Right.
But of course, now the joke's kind of twisted, turned around.
And so this location that we're in your Capitol Heights location. It's a beautiful location. How long have you all been here?
In this specific spot since last November, but we've been in the shopping center for 24 years.
Okay, and so this is actually my first time being here. And so it is really literally up the street from our worship center facility. And so just a shout out, a plug to all of those who are watching, that now you have someplace that you know of that you can go after church service, right up the street.
Absolutely, and that's our purpose. So this is my ministry. My ministry is a food and health ministry. We actually coined it a hospital. So this is a hospital restaurant where people come to get healthier food so that they can get healthier, right? And as opposed to going to the pharmacy spelled with a PH, we have a pharmacy spelled with an F. So it's pharmacy, straight out the farm, right here to the restaurant, and now you can eat it. And you get the benefit of it. Because most of us today, you would think that many of the health challenges are genetic. Most of them are lifestyle.
Absolutely. The majority of the chronic diseases that we have in this country are from lifestyle.
Yeah.
So do you do other things in this building, in your store, as opposed to just serving food?
Sure. So inside this room, this is our dining hall. We call this the Life Center at Hampton Park. And we do entertainment. So we've had live entertainment here. We do educational, both cultural, historical, and otherwise uplifting and empowering our community type of education. And of course, we do health. We're always, providing some health message. In this space right here, we incubate smaller businesses. We allow them to come in and set up as vendors, and they do their thing where our customer base gets exposed to them. So we're doing a lot to make this a cultural hub inside of our community and a space where people can feel comfortable. We've done children's programs, we've done seniors programs, we've done singles programs. So we're that space that we want people to choose when they're looking for a place that can hold 150 people and, that's in the neighborhood.
That's awesome. So now if people want to stay in touch, are you all on social media?
Yes.
How can they follow you?
eLife Restaurant is our tag on all the platforms, so eLife Restaurant.
eLife Restaurant. All right. Well, you will definitely be hearing more from us, and we thank you once again.
Thank you.
All right. So what did you guys think? Do you think that that's also a place that you could get into? Let us know in the chat. What do you all think? Do you all think that you could ever truly go all vegan?
No. I'm gonna be honest, and you know what? I realize vegan, the things that you can't eat is very restrictive. Again, I think about my life. I'm on the go. I'm pretty busy, just giving my job, and I would literally have to cook most of my food. Because I may not have time to go to the restaurant, but I would have to cook most of my food. And if I don't have time to do that, I can't do it. Though I will say, for those who are doing it, I did it a few years ago for like maybe a week or two, and I really did feel good in my body. That I miss. Like I wasn't achy in my joints or anything, but it's hard to maintain. For me, it's hard to maintain if I don't have that discipline.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That discipline is big.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, LaVance?
Well, you know, I'm trying. It's just them summer cookouts, you know, them hamburger hot dogs smelling ribs. But I am, yeah, oh my Lord, this weekend. But I'm really trying to go that way. It's just a matter of time.
Oh, that's your desire.
And God willing, I'm just praying about it. But I feel like I feel better
Yeah.
when I do eat it, and then when I'm preparing myself for it, I do. But it's just, it takes time. Everything is time. You just can't, you won't change overnight.
That's right.
Have an accountability partner.
Yeah.
That's real big. Somebody hold you accountable. Make sure you're eating properly, eating right, and doing what you say you're going to do. Either cook a meal this day, or meal prep. What you're going to do. But I'm going to try my best to go that way. I don't know it's going to be 100%, but
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah. Yeah. And what about you?
I actually would be very intrigued to try it out. I mean, I think I would have to ease into it, like start vegetarianism and work my way into it, just because the adjustment in my life and lifestyle, it would take some adjusting. It just would. But I think that flavor-wise and the kind of food that I like to eat, I could totally make veganism work for me. I think it's very possible. I just would have to figure out how to make that work in the fast-pacedness of my lifestyle. You know.
Yeah.
Balanced life.
Yeah. I actually prefer a Mediterranean diet. And a lot of that is, well, unless you add the chicken or you add the fish, you can make that completely vegetarian. But I don't know if I can do it every day. I do not eat red meat or pork or any of that. I do eat fish and I do eat chicken. And I probably will continue to eat fish and chicken. But I commend those of you who have the discipline to be able to eliminate those from your diet. I really do commend them. And so, all right. So, when we opened, I mentioned that we can't talk about physical without talking about the spiritual as well. And so, what good would it be for us to take care of our exterior, right? And then we're not being mindful of our spirit man as well. And so with that, I want to ask the same questions that we started talking before on a scale of 1 to 10 when it comes to your spiritual diet. And you all can put that in the chat as well. With 10 being super spiritual, like you and Jesus are BFFs. How would you rate your spiritual diet and why would you rate it that way? Let's start with Jessica.
Oh, I actually feel a little bit more confident about that than with my eating habits. So I would say maybe around a 7, maybe, because I take the time to make time for the Lord and to get that into my daily life and schedule. It could stand to be better, I think there are times I can turn off the Netflix and, open the Word instead. But I think for the most part, I think I'm in a decent spot with that.
Awesome. What would you say, LaVance?
I'm gonna say a 7. I believe I've come a long way. From when I first started church, I was very involved and stuff like that. Then got something we have to call church hurt, and then you separate yourself. And decided one day enough was enough, and got on my knees and prayed with my accountability partner, and then started taking classes again. I feel more confident in my walk with God. I pray every day. Have a partner, we pray every morning. And my accountability partners, and with my cycling group, we pray on a daily basis with my group. So I feel much more confident with my walk with God than I have in the past, because it was a battle, especially with church.
That's a big one. Yeah. And what would you say, Tiffany?
I think I'm at a 7 too. Me and Jesus are definitely friends. Hope he is a BFF.
He knows your name?
Oh, he know my name. I just wish he'd stop calling me sometimes. But I would definitely say a good 7. And again, how do you get to 10? More discipline.
Yeah. And I find that you know, the discipline and the accountability, all of the things that applied when it came to our physical diet still applies to our spiritual diet as well, you know? So what areas, since we are all rating ourselves around a 7, what areas would you say you need to improve? And same question, why do you think it's so hard?
What areas can I improve on? It's interesting. I used to be a praise and worship leader. So again, discipline. Starting Thursday nights, I would be preparing for Sunday. And I'm like, I kind of miss that time. And it's so like, I can set aside more time to be with him. So those are the areas that I can improve, like more dedicated time where it's just me and God, we worshiping, I'm worshiping him. And I think that's one thing I want to bring back into my worship life.
That's good.
Yeah.
What about you, LaVance?
Well, mine is just surround myself with people like that want to walk with Christ more, and also, you know, get healthier. You know, getting my word deeper. You know, every day, passing on to my son. You know, just being having that person be to hold me accountable for not being in my word, not praying every day, or also going to classes. It's the Bible Institute. You know, they have great classes. I took one, Man is Design, and it opened my eyes up to see other men that we have the same problems, and we're out there talking about it in the open, and that really changed my life right there to see that, because most men, we keep everything inside. We don't want to talk about it. We feel embarrassed or belittled because we have issues.
Yeah.
But we don't want to talk about it. But when I let all that stuff out, it changed my life. I'm not stressed, and because I stress eat, another thing, we stress eat. So when I let that stress go, when I say I feel better today, I feel 100% better. I feel like I smile more now. I walk different.
Yeah.
I just feel, and I'm proud of myself for making those changes and being dedicated to doing that. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I'm glad you brought that up about stress eating. We talked about life be lifing and things like that. Stress is a big component to the way we eat and how we even get addicted to things like sugar. And addicted to certain types of foods because we're looking for that comfort. And instead of getting down to the core of what may be causing these issues or these feelings, we turn to food. You know, so that's a great point. What about you, Jessica? What areas would you say you need to improve, and why do you think it's so hard for us?
I think my area of improvement deals with food. That would be fasting. Like, that's something that it's really been my heart to do more of, but I struggle with it so much, and I don't know. I mean, I can only assume it's because, like you mentioned before, stress eating. And sometimes when you're stressed out or you got a lot going on, it's easier to go to the food than to push that food away and say, I'm gonna come to the Lord instead. So that's something that I would like to get better at and add that more to my prayer life as well.
Yeah, because some things we can't get rid of but by
Prayer and fasting,
right? And that fasting is key too, because it's the flesh, right? And it's your ability to put the flesh in submission, you know what I mean? And that flesh will rage and it'll war and it'll buck back, but then you have to put your foot down and say, you know, the spirit man is boss, you know, and that's how we overcome the flesh. So, but like everything you all said, it takes time, you know. You know, you may fast a few hours one day and then the next day you take it longer, and then you just continue to build until it's a day, it's 2 days. I know, you know, I've gotten to the point now where at least I can go like a week with just water, you know what I mean? But that didn't come overnight. It's
a process.
Yes, it's a process. Yeah, it's a process. But if that's something you desire, you'll be able to do it by God's grace. Yeah. So what misconceptions do you think people have about growing in their faith, LaVance? Well, one of the things you said, I heard you say, was that, you know, as far as men, you know, you think your struggles, you're the only one going through what
Right.
you're going through,
Correct.
right? And you don't want to express it
Right.
because you think others will judge you
Judge
or
you, yeah.
belittle,
So I
belittle
think
you.
it's that, you just hit it. Just being you think people be so judgmental of you, of what you've gone through, or you want to embarrass your family, your name because of what you've been through. But like I said before, a lot of people are going through the same thing you're going through. It's just you can take a little bit what they did to get through it, to help you get through it. Also, put that with the word. What the word says, put it together, then you can get through it. But a lot of it's just people being judgmental, and you just need to just open up. Hey, this is what it is. You just set before I am. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect, but I'm striving to be perfect in God's eyes.
Amen. What would you say, Jessica, misconceptions that people have about growing in their faith?
I imagine I think, at least I thought at the beginning of my faith walk, just thinking that it was just going to be me reading the Bible all day, every day. And not that that's a bad thing, per se, because it's not. It's not a bad thing. But that's all that there was to it. And I thought that, and I'm realizing as I walk more with the Lord, that it's more diverse than that. It's so much more than just reading the Bible like it's a book all day long. But spending that time with the Lord can mean so many different things. And but I think in the beginning, I definitely thought that was for sure a big misconception that I had, at least.
Yeah.
For sure.
For me, I think the biggest misconception, at least that I've ran into, is that it has to look a certain way. Your relationship should look like this. Coming from a traditional church, like, the older women would say, well, you can't do this and you got to do that. And I'm like, show me that in the Bible where it says that I can't just wake up and talk to the Lord and pray. Whereas they're like, no, you must get up, take a shower, brush. I'm like, I've wasted time. I should be able to talk to God all day long. The Bible says to pray without ceasing. So I think a lot of misconceptions could be it has to look a certain way. Based off how people describe their relationship with God. It's a relationship, it looks different. Like God, when I think of my natural father, my relationship with my dad looks different from my relationship with my sister. Mm-hmm. So same thing with our Heavenly Father, it may look different from person to person. It's like, don't hold up your walk looking at that person, focus on your relationship with God.
And I think there's so many parallels, again, spiritual food and our physical food, or our spiritual relationship, physical. A misconception, to Jessica's point, is it's boring. You're growing in your faith, and your faith walk is boring. Just like how we said a misconception to healthy eating is that it's boring.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm here to testify that having a relationship with Jesus is anything but boring.
Come on, somebody.
Anything but boring. But the same way we have many options, or when it comes to restaurants, or when it comes to, grocery stores or whatever, when it comes to developing in our faith, we have just as many options, especially here at FBCG. And Levance, you touched on the institutes taking classes. So for those of you, right now is a good time to register for our institute classes. Registration is now open, so be sure to join that. We also have discipleship classes. We have so many discipleship classes here at FBCG, and that's coming up as well. We have access to Bible apps. We have access to devotionals. We have Bible study that's starting back up in October, and that's weekly. I mean, there's really no excuse as to why we can't develop in our faith. Right. And for singles, on Monday nights, we have a Monday night prayer call. And so we encourage you to participate in our Monday night prayer call at 9:30. We will put that information in the chat. And so, speaking of options, I think now would be a good time to launch a challenge. Everybody loves a good challenge, right?
Who doesn't love a challenge?
Would you all like to participate in a challenge? Everybody loves a good challenge. Okay, so here's our challenge. Starting next week, September 14th, For the next 30 days, we will adopt, drum roll, we will adopt a vegetarian diet. Levance, you said that this is what you aspire to.
Right.
Yeah,
We can hold each other accountable.
You're right. You're right.
You have a week to get
I'll
prepared.
get Tiff to cook for me. I'm good.
Go to Tiff's house.
So when we say vegetarian, we mean no meat. That means no beef. That means no chicken. That means no pork. That means no fish.
Not even crab legs.
You got it.
I guess I'm riding bikes next time.
How many of you all are going to be down with us for the next 30 days starting September 14th? We are going to do this challenge. And then, so not only that, but each Monday we will commit to joining the FBCG single prayer call. Like I mentioned, it's on Mondays and it's at 9:30 and it's only 15 minutes. And so certainly we can carve out 15 minutes for corporate prayer just to thank God for who he is, and then to also just to draw closer to him on this particular journey. So how's that? Are you all down?
We're down.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I'm down. Are y'all down? I don't know.
I'm down.
down.
Okay, so we're down. Okay, we're down.
Awesome. Well, put it in the chat. Let us know whether or not you all are going to be joining us. And we're going to check back in. So in October, we will not have a First Saturdays because we will, the Women's Conference.
He loves me.
He Loves Me. It'll be the 10-year anniversary of the Women's Conference. And so many of us will be participating in that. So we will not meet in October, but we will be back in November. We will reconvene and we will see what your 30-day journey was like. So we're probably going to have you all, give us journal entries via phone once a week just to check in and let us know how you're doing.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we want to thank you all once again for joining us at First Saturdays at First Baptist. We are so delighted that you participated and that we hope that you leave encouraged, knowing that everything that you need in order to improve your physical health as well as your spiritual health is right before your fingertips. If you need help or if you have questions, feel free to reach us at singles@fbcglenarden.org. And with that, we will see you all in November. But before we leave, we never want to take for granted that everyone who is tuning in has a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, because it won't matter what your physical diet is like, but it certainly matters what your spiritual diet is like. And it must first start with a relationship with Jesus. So if you don't know Jesus in the pardoning of your sins, what you can do is you can let us know in the chat. You can click on the commit button and someone will be there to pray with you and make sure that you know what it means to have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Thank you again. God bless and good night.